It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up.
Take two.
Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
This is people's internal monologues. Well,
Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up
This is also
now!
how we started the podcast.
Now you fucked up! 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 Now you have fucked up!
Welcome, Holly Johnston. Take two. We're starting over. We messed up the first one because I'm a bad podcast host. And take two on my self-help podcast. I don't know why I have one. Welcome. You are a amazing comedian from, would you say you're a Boston person?
Yeah, I guess Boston. I do some like New Hampshire and recently Rhode Island, but I guess I started in Boston, so Boston.
Yeah, I had never seen you pre-quarantine, I don't think, but I've met you in the Rhode Island scene because that's the only thing open. They don't give a fuck in Rhode Island.
No.
People aren't wearing masks. They don't give a fuck. Rhode Island's it's like New Hampshire but smaller.
Shh, you're gonna get it shut down.
Oh shit! Because this podcast has already gone viral, so. So I'm getting all the mics in Rhode Island shut down.
I thought you said no snitching. Come
Oh
on,
shit, I
snitching
forgot.
out.
let me start with the guy. I broke my own rule. Let me start with the rules of this podcast. Number 1, no drugs. Number 2, positivity, which I never follow. I always forget that positivity is a rule of this podcast because I'm never positive.
Everybody love everybody!
Thank you. Number 3, no snitching, which I broke too. And 4, we love Jesus here.
Yes.
We are not a religious affiliated podcast for anyone listening because you thought that I was religious.
I did. Yeah.
You were listening and you were like, this man really loves Jesus.
I was like, I didn't know he didn't strike me as the guy, you know, but I guess everyone has. I'm going too far from the mic again.
It's all right. This is a self-help podcast where you watch and you feel better about yourself.
Good.
That's the self-help I need. No, so I saw you in Rhode Island, and I'm about to shit on your comedy real quick.
Okay.
But something I really liked about your comedy is your writing, if you write, reminds me a lot of my own. And that's what I mean by shitting on your comedy, is it reminds me of my own, where your jokes can be handled by any person on the intelligence spectrum. They're very smart, so if you're smart, you can get the extra layers, but if they're dumb, they can just get the kind of baseline joke out of it.
Yeah. I try to. I don't know. I like to write like creatively, and I like to do a lot of like stuff with observations, like things I notice and things that like I think of. And
Do you have a writing process?
During quarantine, I had a really like intense, like I had to kind of create a writing process because before I was writing, I was going to mics, but I wasn't as like die hard every single day, this amount of time kind of thing. But once I didn't have that opportunity to go perform, I was like, the only way I can keep up with this is if I do it myself. So I made flashcards.
Oh shit, you went deep.
Yeah, I went really deep. I was reading a bunch of like Gary Goldman tweets. I don't know if you follow Gary Goldman.
Yeah, we had Evan Zygmunt on, and Gary Goldman's his favorite comedian. He was talking about that too.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know you had Evan Zygmunt on here.
We haven't released that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to. By the time this is out, that episode will be out. I don't mean to. Evan Zygmunt's my favorite.
I just think about the orange peels and it just
No, but you read the Gary Goldman tweets.
Yeah, and he did like a segment where he just had like a different comedy tip every single day, and it was probably some of like the best like advice I've gotten in comedy off of those.
Do you remember any of them? I'm going to go out and read them because when I have you and Evan tell me to do something, then I definitely want to do it because you guys are both great comedians.
Yeah, so he basically he had one that I really liked, and it was like you'll never learn anything by talking about yourself, and he was like just talking about like introducing yourself to people at mics and then just like listening to them and like what they're doing rather than just being like, oh yeah, I did this show and I've been here, and like so you're like actually getting to like get to know other people. I just thought that was good advice.
I need to listen to that. I'm really bad. I'm an only child, so I talk about myself a lot, and it's a problem.
I have a bad habit of interrupting people. Like, I cut people off, and like my mom does it too. So I think it's like a genetic thing.
You learned it from her. Do you guys you never finish sentences when you're talking together?
Like I'll just like my mom will just cut all of her friends off with no mercy. Just like. I'm just like, Mom, you just cut off all, like, they were saying something. And she's like, oh. She just, like, it's like, this is just the way I am. I'm like, but is it? Like, it's an easy fix. Like, it's a little bit of patience, a little bit of a pause, maybe, you know.
That's my problem on stage, I feel like, is I rush myself. I was reading this book. I know I've talked about it on a lot of episodes, but The Art of Stand-Up Comedy by Franklin Auger.
I haven't read it, just ordered it. So
it's really good.
I'm
it's
excited.
a little bit dated. There's a couple sections about like how to get on the Tonight Show, which you're like, all right, thanks. But just Zoom call in, like.
Yeah.
But there's one of the best pieces of advice that I still haven't listened to, and you can attest to this because you've seen me do stand-up the past couple days.
Okay.
Is waiting till the last second to say your next line.
Mm-hmm.
I rush
Yep.
so fucking bad.
It's so hard. I step on all my laughs.
I do too, yeah. Are you an anxious person?
I'd like to say I'm not, but everyone that knows me says I am.
Yeah,
So-
I'm a very anxious person, and I always feel like people are mad at me. A little story about that. We were at a skew last night, and the wind picked up, and it blew an umbrella away, and a fellow comedian had to go inside because he didn't want to get wet, and I thought I was the one who made him go inside, and I had to go in and be like, I'm so sorry, like, what did I do? And he's like, it was raining and windy out, like, what are you talking about? It's like, damn, I'm still an anxious person.
I think it's like funny because I can convince myself that I've done all these things to like become a less anxious person. Like you said, like about like you meditating and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I meditate, you know, I work out, I'm taking care of myself, and then like someone will meet me for 2 seconds, be like, wow, you're pretty high strung, aren't you? And I'm like, fuck.
Do you? So you said, do you write every day?
I write every day.
Do you try to? Do you work out every day? Do you have a?
I tried. Yeah, I've like during quarantine, like when the gym shut down, I was like, oh hell no, I'm not gaining weight. Like
That's how I felt. Well, I gained a lot of weight in the beginning of quarantine because I was a sad little boy, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Everybody love everybody!
Thank you very much. I've broken every single rule on this podcast.
it's like reverse psychology.
Exactly.
Self-help podcast.
Yeah, I know. This is a self-help podcast. I forget about that. But no, I have to give myself a schedule, and this is something that, Ani, I want to introduce you and Irish. You guys are in studio today. You make lists for yourself, and that's something that I really need to do because I want to stick to a certain... I need to get addicted to good things, so I need to like keep a strict schedule every day, but I'm not good enough yet to wake up and write everything I need to do down.
I started doing that since we talked about it last, and it's been helping a lot, so I can say works.
All right. Do you have like a daily schedule that you stick to?
Oh my god, I have like 4. I write the same list like 5 times in a row. Just
Oh,
to,
this is
like,
great. I want to hear
I do
about
that
this.
too.
I'm so obsessed with like schedules and calendars, and like I'll have like a calendar, a planner, and like my phone notes, and I'll write the same exact to-do list, and like I'll just I'll just keep rewriting it. I'm like, no, I gotta go put it in the other planner now. And like I have like 6 different planners with the same to-do list on it. It's like neurotic, but I'm
I'm going to make a clip where you're like, I don't think I'm an anxious person. And then right after you talking about that.
I am writing a joke about that right now.
So do you have like when you wake up, what is your morning routine?
So when I first wake up, I try
You
to
also have a job. I forget this. I can have a daily routine because I don't got shit to do. I'm getting those. I'm a welfare baby. It's fucking Al says.
well, if there's a Zoom meeting, then that's where my day starts. But if there isn't a Zoom meeting, then I'll usually try to meditate. Like I either listen to like those like sometimes like Spotify's like meditation soundtracks or like some of the ones on YouTube are okay, but some of them are just a little extra.
Yeah,
They're
that's why
just, like-
Headspace is really good. It's a good app. They're not my sponsor.
I
but-
used to have Headspace. I don't
You're
know.
a college student, right?
No, not anymore.
Oh, we
I
graduated the
graduated.
same thing. Yeah.
I didn't go to grad school. I got rejected.
Oh, I didn't even want to go to grad
Everybody
school.
love
I just started
everybody!
doing stand up right away.
There was like a... Yeah, there was a...
That's that's
forgot
why
about that one,
I
huh?
did. That makes me so happy.
It's a new
That
sound.
yeah, that's when we're getting off track.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Boom,
No,
boom, boom, boom.
I thought that was the like bomb drop.
Oh
Is that
right,
just-
right. That's the we're getting on. I told you I don't know why I'm hosting a self-help podcast. I don't know how to start them.
It's to
I
better
don't know my
ourselves.
own draw. Exactly. So you have your Zoom meeting.
Yeah, so, well, I'll usually try to, like, meditate for, like, 5 to 10 minutes.
I don't get why people start like half hour in. It's like you got to start off quick. Only 5 to 10 minutes. That's hard. When
Yeah,
you're
I don't know why you start. Why would anyone start off a half hour? That's really not
People
smart.
ask me with running too. They're like, oh, "How do you start running?" It's like you got to run 10 minutes a day.
No, exactly.
like-
You just slowly build up,
Exactly.
like, and like a lot of and like when I went to like this yoga class, one of the instructors, we did like a meditation at the end, and she was just like, "You only need 5 minutes for this to work," and like that just like kind of like sticks in my head. So now I'm like, okay, well if I don't do like 15, I'm not gonna stress out because 5 minutes still does like something. So.
Yeah. Do you do yoga?
I started doing like I did like the hot yoga when that was a thing, but now that everything's outdoor, like it's all hot yoga.
Is that one of your
cheesy
new
joke.
bits?
No.
Did you watch that Bikram documentary?
Bikram, no.
It's the guy who started hot yoga.
No.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Oh. Oh, is that like the cult kind of thing? Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Bikram, it's
Okay.
good.
I'll have to check
It made
that
me
out.
want to start it.
Everybody love everybody!
Oh, we're getting off topic.
No, but there's a girl on YouTube I watch, Yoga with Sarah Beth, who's great,
Okay.
and I do it every single. I even did it That's a little bit why I was late. I had to get my yoga in this morning. I was doing a down dog, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna be late for this.
You're just like,
Just having an asthma attack in my living room.
Late for healthy reasons.
Exactly. Yeah, I try to work out every day, but if I can't, I at least do a short yoga video.
Yeah, like I've been trying to do like all like the YouTube like home gym kind of stuff. Like I used to be a big runner, like
Oh, were you?
Yeah, high school I did cross country, so I used to
Oh,
run
wow.
like 6 miles a day.
Damn.
And now I don't do like any cardio. I just do like all like weightlifting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel better with that, honestly. Like,
With the weightlifting?
yeah, like I feel like the strength is like it's more. I just like I feel like I can see the results a lot more than just running. Because running, you just like you don't really like. I mean, you can tone obviously, but it's not like you're not isolating certain muscles, so you're just kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're a smaller build. I'm big, and running long distance did tone my legs and stuff because I had to carry a lot of I have to carry a lot of weight when I'm running, so it helps my legs. But over quarantine, my gym didn't give a fuck. Like over a month ago, it opened up,
Oh wow.
so I've just been lifting and stuff. I'll go for a run and then I'll lift, and it is really great. Like I really do enjoy the lifting, but I have to do the cardio too. Not even for weight loss, but it's a mental health thing for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, definitely. It's good for like mood. I feel like cardio does definitely. Like I still do some cardio. I just don't do like I used to do like 5 miles.
yeah.
I do like 2 now, maybe.
Well, that's still a good run.
Yeah.
Most people can't run 2 miles. I would say 60% of people. 70%. I'm just 75. Is anyone good at? Nope, no one's agreeing with me. Do you write every day? Like, do you set a timer for yourself? Do you?
Well, like sometimes, like, so I write in my notes app, like if I just like randomly think of something while I'm like out somewhere or something like that, I'll just like throw it in my notes app. But like, and then I'll try to like sometimes I'll set a timer for like an hour, maybe 2 hours. Like sometimes I'll
wow.
go over it, which is cool when that happens. But like I feel like sometimes I want to revise like the stuff I've already written, so I'll just kind of look through that and see like, okay, what else can I add to this? And then sometimes I just want to like just write whatever's on my mind and just see what if I come up with anything new. And
Yeah. Have you been, since quarantine started, ended in Rhode Island, it ended, have you been doing all new jokes or have you been doing some old jokes too?
I think I've definitely been doing like older and new jokes, but I feel like with the old jokes I've changed so much since I used to do it back in like before quarantine, back in like March.
You changed as a person?
Yes, I changed as a person.
We're getting into that next.
Transformed myself during quarantine.
You were a small Asian boy before. I'm gonna get canceled for that. One thing every podcast I get canceled for.
I mean, if that's the worst they can find in your podcast, I think you're fine.
I got Shane Gillis for my guest next week.
We've all already done the thing that's going to get us canceled.
Oh, 100%. Things
You
I
know who
tweeted
said
when
that?
I was 16.
Oh my god.
I actually had a bit about that. Who said that?
Crystal, yeah.
Yes, he did. When he said that, I don't know why I'm holding the mic like this. This is the worst way
I was
anyone
just like,
can.
and I was like, yeah, we all fucked up somehow. We all bucked up. My bad.
We
I
all
swear on this
you can
podcast.
swear on this podcast. We did. We all did the things that ruined us.
I don't talk about there's like some things in college where I look back and I'm like, wow, that was not good.
Right? I
did that.
get shit too. And
I'm not
like,
gonna say it on here because I just feel like this world couldn't handle it.
the world. I feel the same way.
Just somebody's gonna give me a dirty look somewhere, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you listen to Sam's."
Like and subscribe.
Everybody love everybody.
Speaking of that, you are also a great sketch writer. How did you get it? Do you want to plug your YouTube channel?
Sure. So me and my boyfriend Nick LaBeouf, we have
Shout out to Nick LaBeouf. He's
Shout
a
out to
very
Nick
funny
LaBeouf.
sketch writer too, and comedian. I was watching some of his stand-up clips.
no, he's very talented. So
Is he single? I'm very lonely.
Everybody love everybody.
Getting a lot of these days.
I told you I woke up feeling like shit this morning, and you can just tell by how happy I seem. But the words coming out of my mouth don't match.
if you like Daft Punk and smoking weed, you'll easily get him from me. So.
Not a big Daft Punk fan.
Okay, no, it's a no-go. just emphasizes. Oh, I already broke one of the rules, didn't I?
It's all right. It's all right.
You
You mean you
cover that,
love
right?
Jesus?
Yeah, that's too.
If you love Daft Punk and Jesus.
That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry.
I'm canceling you. I don't give a fuck. You should listen to the past couple episodes that we're gonna put out.
I can't tell how strict you are on these rules.
I'm not a very strict
We
person.
have coasters that say cunt on
I
them.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how strict we are.
Didn't who was
That
this? Who
level.
did the song? Was it Sarah Silverman that did she sang the song and it was just like.
I was listening to her book on tape and it was dark.
Yeah, I bet. You should listen to Whitney's book on tape.
Oh, I read Whitney's book.
I'm Fine and Other Lies.
I need to.
It's good.
My next book I'm doing is Stephen King on writing. I've been having a real going back to you writing over 2 hours some days. I know Stephen Pressfield says you have to wait for the muse to come, but still my depression kicks in about 45 seconds into me sitting into the computer and I'm like, you aren't funny. You're a piece of shit.
That's resistance, and you know that.
I know, but my resistance is strong. It's
But
like
you should drive some of your muse from your resistance.
that is true.
Yeah.
I need to start writing about, like you were saying, don't talk about yourself with the Gary Gulman thing. That's a big problem with my stand-up. Is I
Gotta
want to
get it
be
out.
more
No,
observational.
not in your stand-up. I just meant
Oh,
when you're
in
talking to different when you're when you're meeting people. He was more saying listen to what they have to say
Okay.
because they know you're never gonna learn anything by talking about yourself.
You can tell how great of a host I am. I was thinking about myself when
You're
you said that.
creating your whole set. You're like,
Yeah,
I gotta.
That's an only
That's
child
like the
thing, so
only
I got
thing.
you.
I create my narrative around what I want to hear.
That's like the only thing you can do when you with stand up is like talk about your life, because like that, like everything else is already like probably done somewhere. Like
Well,
I feel like
I have good observational jokes, but like I had a good observational joke about police, but then I got threatened by 2 cops after a show once, and I was like, I guess I can't do that anymore. Like,
yeah, joke guilt is a real thing.
it really is. That's why I try to do jokes about myself, but then I feel like I'm just digging too deep sometimes.
Yeah, because then people will be like, "Oh, you're too self-deprecating." It's like, well, do you want me to shit on other people or
Yeah,
shit
well-
on
Yes,
myself?
they do.
I like that you're like, there's things in this world that I can't put out there, and if you go to your Instagram, you have a joke about toothpaste.
Yeah, I'm like, I've cleaned it up from here. I have a joke about yeah. You can say it. I don't care.
No, I don't want to ruin it. Go. What's your Instagram? It's up on the screen.
Oh, all right. It's at Holly.Johnston _ because Holly Johnston was already taken.
That's why I'm at Sam C. Buck, because Sam Buck was already taken. My middle name's Charles.
Oh, okay.
It goes from Samuel Charles Buck to Sam Chuck Buck.
That sounds like a historical figure I'd have to memorize in like high school.
Hopefully one day.
Samuel Charles Buck did what in 1773?
It's definitely something racist. It sounds that sentence never ends well.
It's your great grandfather doing
Yeah.
something.
You know my Robert E. Lee joke.
Yeah. yeah. That was good.
We've gone on so many tangents, but let's go back to the sketch writing.
Yes, okay.
How did you get it? You studied psychology in school?
Yeah, I majored in psychology, but I minored in radio, television, and film. So
Oh, okay. So that's okay. Awesome.
yeah, so I took some screenwriting courses. I had to write I did a TV show writing, so I wrote like a spec script. So we had to choose like a show and whatever.
What show did you choose?
I chose Family Guy, and it was
Oh,
great.
really?
It was so much fun because
Have you ever posted it?
posted the spec script? No, I actually want to revise it probably because like I actually reread it recently because I was applying to schools and I was like thinking about using it. I'm like, you know what? I've become a lot more woke since I've written this.
I know. I studied film and social media was my major, and then I had
Okay.
minors in theater and peace and social justice, which is
Okay.
very surprising when you know me. Irish, can you believe I minored in peace and social justice?
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah, I can. I'm not that surprised.
Does
by
that?
The first
Wow.
part, yes. The second part,
That's on brand.
That's but for theater was kind of my major too. Like I was
Yeah.
in the senior showcase and everything, but my first play I wrote was about abortion babies in heaven,
Oh my god.
and it was about a bad theater group putting on a play about that, but the whole play was that, and they just kept like fucking up the script and yelling at each other. And when I go back and read it, I'm like, this is good, but I can't even imagine this came out of my brain.
Sorry.
What is happening over for the listeners? The headphones have taken over Holly, and she is in an argument.
It looked
with
like
them.
I had bangs, and it was really bothering me. Looked like I
Quarantine
had
wasn't that
side
bad.
bangs. It's like I haven't
You
had
didn't have to
side
do-
bangs for a long time.
Did you ever have bangs? Were you a bangs girl? And were you a bangs girl?
I got side bangs.
I had bangs when I was like really young, like across. And it was cutesy then to do that. And then I grew out of it because I was like, whatever. And then I got side bangs.
Mm-hmm.
Had those for a long time. And ever since I've had this part in the same, I don't know what side it's on, but I think it's on this side. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing my
Irish,
hair
you
the
ever
same
get
way.
bangs?
His hair is probably healthier than mine, honestly.
It's healthier than mine, for sure.
Yeah, when I was growing my hair long in high school, my mom
Yeah, I got you.
My mom wanted to always be able to see my eyes, so there was like 2 years she made me. I'd have long hair, but I had to have bangs. And then it finally got to a point where I was just like, "Listen, bitch, I'm gonna grow my hair long. Deal with it."
I love this podcast, but whenever I watch it, I look at my hairline, and it makes me so upset because I'm tall that most people don't see it, and also I have hair that comes down. So like it's you. My widow's peak isn't as bad as it normally looks, but because my hair comes down, it looks real bad. This is not positivity. Guys, why? Who wants to take over the self-help podcast? Because I do not deserve to host it.
Sam, look straight ahead for me, please. Thank you. You can keep talking. I'm just going to see if I can adjust.
So,
this for
you minored in film, radio, TV,
Yeah.
and that's how you got into your sketch writing?
Oh, well, I was always really into writing. Like, when I was a kid, we used to put on, like, skits and do all that shit. Like, you know, how kids
Your
do
dad
that
was
stuff.
a comedian.
My dad did stand-up, and he was in a commercial. He was in he was an extra in a couple of, I think, no, he was in a Steve Martin film. If you watch House Bunny. No, House Sitter, not House Bunny. I'm sorry.
House Bunny. I was about to be
I'm like, so I did something with House. It was like House Sitter. There's one scene where all these people are like walking or whatever, and we had to like pause it and be like, "There's Dad." And it's just like, it's like holding up this, like looking through a briefcase, like a guy going to work or something. I was like,
And that's how you got into comedy at an early age, is through him.
yeah, definitely, because he was always doing like characters, and like I used to play improv games at my birthday party. I didn't know they were like improv
Oh,
games,
really?
so I just thought they were fun.
You
so.
ever do improv?
No, actually, I was just on a podcast called. It wasn't a podcast. It was more like a show. It was called Roast Yourself.
Oh, you were talking about that.
Yeah, with Ronnie Pascal, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Shout out Ronnie Pascal and Roast Yourself.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and they had an improv section, so I was kind of nervous because I don't really do improv, so it's like off the cuff kind of stuff. But like, I think I did okay. Like, I think definitely like it's something that if you really want to get good at, you just gotta like focus on that. But I think there's definitely helps with stand up because you're teaching yourself to like think like in seconds of something. So
I used to do it. I was in an improv troupe on Cape Cod called the New Classic Company that is still a New Classics Company, which is still around. Shout out New Classics Company on Cape Cod. You should go see some of their shows when live shows come back. But I used to do improv with them, and then when I started doing stand up, it was tough. I wanted to do improv again, but I felt like it was two muscles in my brain that kind of like
yeah, it's different.
And they couldn't work congruently in my brain almost because stand up. It might be to the detriment of myself, but I have to write everything I say down.
No, I do. I mostly write. I'm not really. I've done a little bit of like crowd work. Like I've slowly started to do like spontaneous jokes and stuff like that. But most of it is just I write it. I like rehearse it. You know, things like that.
I can tell, not in a bad way, but I can tell because that's exactly what I do, and
Yeah,
that goes back
yeah.
to the beginning. When I was like, your style, not that we have the same style of jokes, but it kind of reminds me of, you put time into your jokes.
No, exactly. Yeah, I put a lot of writing time into it.
Even your A Thin Mint joke, honestly, it's so short, and it's the best intro that you could give, and
Thanks.
it's so not stupid, but like it
No,
gets
it is.
people
It's
in.
like it's so like silly.
Yeah, I don't mean, whenever I say stupid, I mean silly, and then I always.
don't take offense.
There's a comedian, Emma Willman,
That's how
who's
you know you're a comic, by the way, that you don't get offended.
Well, I actually, no, I cry in my car after I bomb, but
Okay, that's what you're supposed to do.
I just read the Bible in my car.
yeah, okay, yeah. I
You get one of those.
know. I just read the Bible.
Nice.
It's like, I'm doing better than this with the jokes. They're bombing.
At least when I get crucified, I don't have nails in my hand.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting canceled by Jesus. But do you put sketch writing in like every day, or do you, when you get the idea, you're like, I'm gonna sit down and write a sketch?
No, so basically, me and Nick, we mostly write together. So fun fact.
That's cute.
So basically,
Do you guys argue when you write, or are you a good
Oh
writing?
my no,
a good-
we both are equally convinced that our idea is the best idea. So we're like,
Oh wait, I see.
Dude,
Irish is like, I'm not looking up from my fucking computer.
You really have to like. I feel like okay, this is gonna go off topic. I'm gonna go right for where you said first. So,
No
do
problem.
I write sketch every day? No, I don't. I come up with I come up with ideas, and so if like I'll come up with premises, and I'll like throw them in my phone notes or whatever. I actually took a sketch class at Improv,
Asylum or Boston?
Boston.
I did classes at Asylum.
Okay. How were those?
Great. I actually did improv with Jimmy Cash when I was like 17 years old. Shout out Jimmy Cash.
Why do you know all these famous people?
Jimmy Cash isn't famous.
No, I just he
He-
sounded
in the
famous.
in the Johnny Cash.
Oh, that's
Jimmy Cash
fair.
is famous in the Worcester scene, and he's a very great comedian.
Okay. I'm jealous that you met Whitney Cummings, by the way.
Oh.
She doesn't answer my texts. One day she's just gonna answer all of them. Be like, "Wow, I can't believe you did that roast. That's great. Oh, I love your dog."
Can't believe you cry in your car after you bomb.
Yeah. So anyway, so how we basically got started as a team per se. So I like when I was first started comedy last year, I like just went on Instagram and just followed like any person that had comedy in their Instagram bio and was from Boston. I was like, I'm gonna follow all the comedians. We're all gonna be friends. Like it's gonna be great. Like I was just like trying to like network, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I was just like following all these comedians and like I found like Nick, and then I like found his set and I was like, oh, this kid's pretty funny. And then I found his YouTube channel and he had this one parody video about like how you only order Domino's when you're done loving Jesus.
It is true. When I'm at the most depressed point in my life, when I'm like, you know what, Domino's has some pretty great pizza.
So it's like I was trying to get the code in there, but anyway,
I understand.
so when you're fucked up and you get Domino's, basically, so the whole video was like, it's a great sketch. I highly recommend it. It's like basically everyone's like, oh, every other place is closed. You know what that means? And they're like, aw, it's like Domino's pizza.
I went to Denny's last night, so
Oh,
I
wow, okay.
understand. It was the only thing open.
So anyway, so I was like, oh, this guy writes like really funny like sketches. So I like messaged him and I was like, oh, hey, I really like your comedy and he won't believe me to this day, but to this day I know that I was networking. Like I wanted to work with him. Like I was not
You were not flirting?
And he still won't
He's
believe
still
it.
You're even putting it on record.
I have like a piece of paper as I write everything down. I'm like, oh, I just messaged this comic. Hopefully we can work together. I'm gonna
I
send
do
it to
not
him.
like it.
like-
It says it on the paper.
No. Yeah, it was funny because we met up at a Starbucks. Well, that's real Starbucks. I don't know what the air quotes for. we literally met up at a Starbucks. But so I was gonna be in one of his comedy sketches. And he was like, oh, like I've been writing, like, do you want to like be in one or do you want to like, help me write one? I was like, oh my God, yeah, like that would be so much fun. So like he has so many followers. I was like, oh, this guy's famous and we're gonna like be partners. And I was just like, and then like,
And your dreams came true.
oh yeah. No, yeah, we're good. We write really well together and we have a similar sense of humor. So it works in
That's
a lot
nice.
of ways.
So that's funny. Comedy was what brought you together. I was going to
Yep.
talk to you about that. Did you know each other before? But no, you reached
No.
out. You were
I
well.
slid
You
into his
do network.
DMs.
You subscribed to my YouTube channel.
I did.
Was it before or after I saw you?
I feel like I probably saw like something on Instagram. And,
I
like,
think that was it because I recognized your name after. Mm-hmm. I'm not good at networking. It's because this is part of my self-help. I'm really bad at networking, so I'm really bad at putting myself out there. Like, I just feel like people are mad at me when I talk to them at clubs, or like, I feel like if anyone sees any of my posts, they're just gonna be like, fuck you! And then they're just gonna unfollow me, so I don't do any of that.
That's why you created a podcast, so people are forced to talk to you for an hour.
Literally, I need to force people to talk to me. Well, that was like on the Lloyd clip. There's when it went on Reddit, there was a comment that was like, "These podcasters fucking suck," and it got like 120 upvotes, and I was like, "Thank you guys, you agree too." Like,
This
I want to
Watch
thank.
the podcast.
that started a
Exactly.
month ago.
Yeah, literally, it's my
Like,
4th episode, but I understand that. But it's also like, I appreciate because I agree with you. I know. You think I'm like, I love you, Sam, when I look in the mirror? Fuck no. Fuck no.
See, I think what I really liked about this podcast, and I wasn't just like, oh, I listened to like 15 seconds, so I can say it. Like, I actually listened to it, like the different episodes, and what I really liked about it is like, you don't really get to hear from like comics that I've been able to meet. Like, usually when you listen to a comedy podcast, they're all famous people. So like hearing the perspective of people that are like, you know, they have a little bit, they have a lot of more experience than me, but like it's kind of like where I'm headed. Just hearing their experience and everything is a lot more like, it's nice, and it's like, it's different than hearing somebody that's like a billionaire in LA being like, you just gotta work at it, you know.
Thank you for telling me I'm not good at networking.
I don't know where you got that from.
I told you I make the narratives out of what I hear.
You just find a way to make it about someone making fun of you.
Exactly. That's what I try. Your comedy's self-deprecating.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Are you a self-deprecating? Is your internal monologue nice or is it mean?
See, I think what happens with people that like, you know, I feel like people learn how to self-deprecate when they aren't like fitting in that well, because it helps them like cope with the fact that like like I feel like because I feel like, you know, some people will be like, oh, why are you so like self-deprecating? I'm like, this is how I've processed like everything.
This is the only way people will like me.
Like, I feel like I've sort of cut back on it now as I get older. Like, there was a phase where I was just like, it was just all self-deprecating. You know, when you're like holding back tears, but you're getting laughed.
I used to be like, no, I make jokes because they make me feel good about myself. And meanwhile, while I'm saying the jokes, I'm just really sad inside.
Everybody love everybody!
Yeah, this is a real dark episode.
I was hanging out with one of my I used to like kind of hang out with my brother's friends, whatever, when I was like in high school, and I go downstairs one time and I was like, hey guys, what's up? What's going on? And one of his friends just goes, dude, we should just like put her down.
Is he Canadian?
No. He had this like weird kind of he had this weird voice people used to do impressions of. He kind of like drag out his words like, dude.
Put her. Did they put you down?
And fun. Like, I was just picturing like an animal. Like, I was just like so like, I've never forgotten that to this day. I'll never forget that comment.
You still like, fuck you.
If I see, like, that's the thing. Like, I like when, it's funny when you like, you know, like when you're like, oh, they definitely got over that comment by now, and like you just think of like things that you still haven't gotten over yet.
That's what I lay in bed and I think about stuff that I did, and then like people will be like, no, those people forgot it, and then I'll be like, no, they didn't.
No,
they
didn't.
definitely, because I don't forget those
They
things.
go to bed and they're like, I got her.
Oh my god, your brother's really funny too.
Oh, in the video.
Yeah, so you guys should look at. It's on. What's your boyfriend's YouTube page?
Okay, so it's called LeBuff Comedy Channel, and it's LEB.
You don't know how to spell his last?
No, I do. It's
Wait, this is
LEBOEUF.
Okay.
I used to butcher.
We
it
read you
every
the
time.
Bible earlier. So.
Yes. So the two sketches that I've like he has a ton of sketches on there that a lot of them are like before, you know, we knew each other, but then when I started helping him write stuff, the two I wrote with him were Sponsored Breakup, which is about a guy breaking up with his girlfriend while trying to plug his podcast sponsors. And
it's really funny.
And Uber Blackout is like an Uber service that only caters to drunk people. So yeah, they were both fun to make, and I'm done talking about myself on Sam's podcast.
What are you talking about? I have you on the podcast
Okay.
to talk about
You asked me to plug it. Okay,
oh yeah.
So.
No, but the Uber Blackout video I was listening to on the way here.
Not a good idea. Don't watch it in your car.
I hit a lot of traffic.
I don't want to be the responsibility for your.
But your brother in it is wicked funny, and you guys should watch this clip. I don't know why I'm looking at you guys. I should look at the camera. You should watch the clip because there's a day where he's pretending. There's a part where he's pretending to be blackout drunk, and the friend's like seeing if he's okay to drive, and he's like, "What day is it?" And he's like, fucking leg day, because he's a strong guy. He's a big guy.
Yeah. I wrote that line.
It's a funny ass line.
Yeah. He delivered. He delivered.
But no, it was really funny.
I'm gonna take my credit where it is.
I thought you were done talking about yourself.
Never. I'll never be done. I feel like.
Does he do any artwork?
Oh
either?
yeah, he's a musician. He does music. Follow Xander James on. I think he's on Apple.
Hey, can I have a paper towel? My leg's bleeding right now. This is great podcasting. My leg is dripping blood.
Oh God.
What'd you do?
I don't
what
even
did
know.
you do?
I don't even. I don't know what's happening. So he does music.
Yeah,
What type
yeah. of
music?
He does a lot of more like hip hop. I think he's starting to get back into like pop punk and stuff like that. He used to play the drums, like the guitar. He still kind of does, and then he does a lot of stuff with like he has all like the soundboard and everything, and he does all kinds of he has like a recording studio in my basement and stuff. So.
Do you in your basement?
Yes.
Do you have your own place?
No, I live with my parents, and so
So
doesn't
in
he.
their basement.
Sorry.
It's not your basement. I was about to be like, damn, let's go.
I got
We got our own
busted.
basement?
I live with my parents.
I live with my grandma. It's okay.
Oh, just you and your grandma?
Well, during quarantine, my mom's been there too.
Oh, okay.
But do you do music, or do you do anything non-comedy wise to get your not creative juices, but anything flowing?
Yeah. I do a lot of drawing.
Do you?
Yeah, I just got an iPad, so now I've been playing around with like Adobe Draw and like trying to teach myself graphic design.
Oh, I'm so bad at drawing. I'm jealous of both you, Ani, and you for that.
I've been drawing like longer than when I was a kid. There's like this picture from like Girl Scouts or something, and they used to make you like do. I was actually in Girl Scouts.
Were you?
I think I was in like the Brownies. No, not the Brownies. What's the one before that? The Daisies.
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
Oh okay. Okay. So
you actually did sell Thin Mints.
Yeah. No, I don't think I was like 5. It was like that phase. I don't think I made it to the salesman, the entrepreneur.
But
yet.
you would draw.
Yeah, so there was like, I found this thing while I was cleaning my room the other day because I don't throw anything out, and neither does my parents. So we have like every drawing I've ever made since I was 5. I'm like, all right, we don't need this like half of a horse.
My dad has this painting that I did when I was in 6th grade up, and it's dog shit, and it's in their living room, and I'm like, Dad, please don't. Like, my God. I'm a semi-okay comedian sometimes. You don't need to put my shitty artwork up to make me feel better. Like,
yeah, all my like old artwork is up in my parents' house too.
But at least yours is good.
Shout out to proud parents. Yeah, so anyway, so there was like a thing, and it said tell us, write about your day or whatever, and I just drew a horse over it. And it was just the most like me thing I could ever.
Was it a good drawing of a horse?
I was 5, so what do you think? Yeah, but I do do a lot of like drawing and stuff, and I'm aware I just said dude. But
you can't swear. You can swear on this podcast, but you can't say doo-doo.
Fuck.
Is it meditative for you drawing?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Do you get into a state now?
Yeah, definitely.
This is gonna sound real dumb, and I bet you guys are gonna make fun of me for this, but I feel that way about bowling. I love bowling. I go bowling almost every day. Like, yeah, bowling just opened back up, and I go almost every day. I bowled a 227 the other day.
I don't know what that means.
It's a really good score.
That's good.
Yeah, I really like bowling, and I get into a meditative state when I do it, and it's something fun, and people get made fun of.
Do you live near like a bowling alley?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have like bowling buddies?
Yeah, I do. And it's $25, and you get 3 games a day every single day for the month.
You have to spend. Oh, I thought you meant $25 a day.
No, it's.
You spend that on bowling?
The only person who could be poor because of bowling. I just can't stop.
It's like my strange addiction.
I know.
Just like, he's at the alley again, isn't he?
Nice.
That means something. I did that by accident. I want you to know.
That was a good
Oh
one.
my god. See, I hate being 22 because no matter what joke I want to make, it has to go back to sex or drugs.
That's
'Cause I
not.
have to be like,
That's a myth, though. That's not. You could make a joke about like potholes, and if you can be really like creative.
see,
and
right there, I
funny-
was like, holes.
See, like,
Just one for that.
Just one for that. No, but I really like. I try to sit down and I try to write like really smart bits, and they always come back to like a dumb punchline, like that Nelson Mandela story I tried to tell last night. Like, I really do think that like that's a true story. I like that bit, but in the end, I can't get a good punchline out of it.
That's
Yeah.
your comedy. That's the way that you. That's the way
Yeah,
you
I know.
roll.
see, I feel like the more you write, it's like a muscle. Like it just starts to like the. I feel like the networks in your brain. Here comes that psychology degree. The networks.
Teach me, doctor.
Like I feel like the networks in your brain like get stronger because I noticed like the more I started writing, the easier it's been for me to think of stuff. Like because it's just like so like second nature. I don't know.
I get that, and I try to force myself to write every day. And I was good over it until I started doing comedy again, and then I wasn't good at writing every day while I was doing that. But it's the same thing. It's like no matter what even if I write, I'll try to write clean jokes. I'll try to, and it just can't happen. And I know I shouldn't force myself to write jokes I can't write, but like. I also want jokes that I can put online. Like I want jokes that like I don't want all my
definitely.
jokes to like offend 25% of the crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like I read this book during quarantine called The Comedy Bible. There's one from like the 90s, but
The
there's
Comedy
like
Bible?
there's like a revised one, and it's
By who?
Judy Carter. And it's actually really helpful. And there's like little like activities where it's like make like as many like ends to this joke as you can, or like make it like, so it's just like it kind of like gets you in like the habit and like teaches you like basically like the basic structure of a joke, and like obviously you want to go off of that.
Does it work? It worked for you though.
I think it was just like a good like training tool because like it just gave you the opportunity to just like practice writing jokes like over and over again, or just see how many different things you could come up with for like an acronym or something like that. So it just kind of gets your brain like working.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's I have this thing in my brain. I know it's resistance, Ani, so don't you dare chime in. But it's like when I see something like that, I want to be like, yeah, that's cool. But another voice in my brain's like, but that won't work for you. But I know it will because whatever effort you put in comes back exponentially.
Yeah.
So I just need to get past that voice in my head to be like, that won't, like, you know that voice in your head that whenever you want to do something, there's something like, you don't need to do that, you're different.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's detrimental to you. Or not to you, but to me.
Yeah, and the other thing is like I cannot write one-liners. I'm really like that's like the one thing that like I've found to be the most challenging with like writing, because like I feel like you have to have a certain personality or something. I don't know what it is, but there's
100%.
You know what
super-
it is. And this is coming from the old lady in the room. You guys are 22. That's why. It will come. It's just with practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have stories that you can pull from, but it just gets easier the older you are because the less you want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm on the later end of my 20s.
So
like
you're
almost
saying this
30.
is my peak?
No.
No.
I'm saying that if you're working on one-liners, then you'll get better as
Yeah,
you continue to do comedy and you continue
Yeah.
to like go through shit.
But
There's
I
like
know-
one-liner comics though that are, and I just know I'm never gonna be like a one-liner comic.
Yeah, and it's also like I know the comedians I like have dark jokes, have sex jokes, have smart jokes, but are like grounded in dumbness. Like I love Daniel Tosh, I love Joe Rogan. Like I know these people
It's
sound
because
like
they're adults that haven't lost their inner child.
exactly.
That's
And
why it's
my
funny.
childhood, I feel like I wasn't silenced, but I wasn't who I really was. Like I was living in a life that was more preppy and more like you don't
That
talk
happened to me
about
until
stuff
about 6 months ago.
till you met Irish.
No, well, I mean, I started comedy like a little over a year ago. And so to break through like the depression part when I started comedy, and to like get through to the other end took some time. Obviously.
Yeah. The last thing on the list, those two things really helped.
Yes. Yeah.
Jesus
But
and
honestly,
praying.
So I
it's
heard.
like, but I know I do it a lot, but it did help. Like, I was a lazy kid. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to work out. I just wanted to play video games. And then when I started smoking, I know I talked about, but I don't really care at this point. We're pretty.
I already said it.
Exactly.
so I
We're
already-
pretty late into the podcast.
Yeah.
That made me want to work out. It made me want to actually start comedy. It made me want to actually start writing. It made me it was the thing that made me finally get motivation because I was such a lazy person. And it doesn't affect anyone else like that, really.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't, but it helps me that way. Like, I will read a lot of Bible passages, and then I'll go run 5 miles, and nothing will feel better than that.
Do you think it's because like it made you deal with what you had to deal with in order to break through that behavior?
Yes.
Okay, that's
But
cool.
it is detrimental, and I'm not the type of person to be like, it's all good all the time. Because when I go to sit and write, that's where my anxiety comes in, where I'm like, you're not funny. It's good for 70% of the time, but the time that I'm trying to like be with my own thoughts and write something that I think is funny, it does not help me with that. And it makes me feel kind of shitty.
Reread more of art.
I had to reread it, I
Yeah.
know. I actually do. I've slipped back into some bad patterns now that comedy's back, I think, because I've been staying up late doing that, and I
I've been eating shitty bar food.
Exactly,
eating,
and
like,
it's-
nachos on a Tuesday.
and when I eat unhealthy food, it then makes my brain not be
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
work better,
definitely.
and then that affects my writing, which then affects me not feeling better about myself because my writing's not good. But all I need to do is start eating healthier and going to bed. But I also want to stay up late and do comedy and be with friends.
Exactly. I feel like I like to write. Like, you're also like, I feel like you can be more like, I write in the morning sometimes, and then sometimes at night I'll just like go on like a little thing where I'll just write for like an hour or so, and like I feel like I'm really creative at night, so I don't really want to like force myself to go to bed if I'm like wasting the opportunity where I could be writing something that like turns out to be really good. I don't know.
Or what time do you wake up in the day, would you say?
I try to get up by like 9. Sometimes
How many hours
10.
of sleep do you try to get?
I try to go to bed at like 12 or 1. So I guess like was that like.
That's a real problem with me. Is like if I don't get 8 or 9 hours, I literally like this morning. I set an alarm. I tried to get up earlier so I could get a run in. Like I couldn't force myself out of bed. Like it was weird. Like I had to go back to sleep.
Yeah, no, I did that today. I was gonna get up at 7 today. I'm like, I'm gonna do all this stuff before coming here today, and then like I just like, you know what would 9 hurt? Like.
So we're winding down.
Yeah, we're winding down.
It's been about an hour.
But I do want to say ask you one more thing.
Okay.
Do you feel like you're better at comedy post quarantine, or how do you feel about your comedy post quarantine versus pre quarantine?
I think honestly better because, like I said, I did a lot more writing. I paid a lot more attention to the stuff I'd already written and said, like, how can I make this better? I actually took 2 comedy classes virtually over quarantine.
Oh, with who?
With Dana at Improv Boston.
Mm-hmm. And those helped you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely
Well, I think
helped me.
I hadn't seen you before, but you're killing on stage.
Thank you. I just love doing. I missed it so. Like I was so depressed during like quarantine, just not being able to go to mics and stuff, and just like I just remember like I drew a picture of some eyes and I taped them to my wall, and that was the audience. So
Really?
So I could practice.
Oh, I feel
looking at
so
the-
much better about myself. I'm just.
Oh yeah, I'll send you the video, and then so I had that, and that was like so I could practice like making eye contact with the audience, and then I had this old karaoke microphone not plugged into anything, so that was my stand-up set.
It works. I missed being on so I was broken up with right before quarantine, and then right after that I started I was booked 2 gigs at the studio. I was supposed to perform in New York. I was supposed to perform in New Hampshire.
Nice.
I had gotten all the, and then quarantine hit, and all my book shows fell through that I had gotten so then when I was just like, I was in a deep spiral, and that's when I wanted to start this podcast, because I picked myself out of it. I started working out. I'm down 35 pounds over quarantine. Thank you very much. And I'm trying to get better. That's why I have a self-help podcast.
Yeah.
I know you've been plugging yourself a lot this podcast, but do you want to give one final plug?
I think no. I think
Okay.
that's it.
You're not.
I don't know what else I have to plug.
All right, find her stand up her on YouTube, on Instagram, and some great clips on LaBeouf Comedy's YouTube page.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much.
Of course. Thanks for listening, guys. This has been a very negative episode, and I hope you are feeling better about yourselves after listening to me. Yeah, this has been Bucked Up. I just bucked up the ending. Bye, guys.